This is Hannibal here from thehannibaltv.com with a quick daily combat sports news update. NXT went unopposed last night, did a 0.24 rating with no competition. Apparently, the Young Bucks are making fun of the kick that Randy Orton did to Drew McDonald on Raw, where he missed him by a large amount, and Drew still sold it, which is a mark of a bad wrestler, selling moves that don't touch. It's one of the first things you learn in wrestling school. If someone kicked and missed on me, I would just do a double or single leg attack, take them down, and just improvise. But the wrestlers or the storytellers in WWE these days can only go by the script. They don't know how to improvise, and that's not going to change because it's a large corporation. They do everything by the book. They're not going to do anything to shake up investors. Finally, I've talked about this before. Back in April, I bought a full amateur wrestling mat for my basement where I have a personal trainer come over and help me with my striking. And I also train on my own striking down there a few times a week. Maybe eventually I'll do some grappling down there too. But I have been trying to do a Great North Wrestling dungeon match down there ever since I got that set up. Everyone remembers the infamous dungeon match between Dan Severn was the referee, but it was Ken Shamrock versus Owen Hart on a WWE pay-per-view before Owen Hart passed away that took place in the dungeon, which Owen won, by the way. And I was trained in the dungeon. I wasn't trained in a wrestling ring. I was actually trained on mats, as was a lot of famous wrestlers that came out of Calgary because, yes, in the summer, sometimes they'd have a ring outside, but for the most part, you were trained down in the dungeon. And there's one female wrestler, Eve, that has really she's volunteered to wrestle someone down there. Now, The Hannibal TV channel gets oftentimes 300,000 to 500,000 hits a day. I interview top female wrestlers on here. There's famous female matches on here. I just posted a ton of Tessa Blanchard matches. WWE agents watch my channel. I know that at least 4 to 5 of them firsthand watch my channel. Steve Regal has definitely seen my channel in the past. He works for NXT. But it's funny because every independent wrestling female around here that we've asked to fight Eve acts insulted, like it would be below them to have a dungeon match. God forbid you wrestle in front of 50 people on shows that aren't even taped, that no one's ever going to see, but you're too good to have a dungeon match on literally Canada's most popular YouTube channel. I'm not talking about a cat fight. I'm not talking about a sexual match. I'm talking about a dungeon fight. So to help Eve out, I'm putting the open challenge out there, and I'm not asking people to do this for free. There would be pay involved in it. If there is a female wrestler out there that wants to come and have a dungeon match against Eve that will be posted on the Hannibal TV, email greatnorthwrestling@gmail.com. Otherwise, just like I won by default over Cody, Eve will forever be the champion of the Great North Wrestling dungeon in my basement. And it's really disappointing that Canadian girl wrestlers overall, they have such a poor work ethic. When I asked, for instance, Amber Nova to do the movie match that she had against a ninja before WWE started doing ninjas on this channel, it's got about 50,000 hits. Look it up, Amber Nova versus Ninja. She was more than happy to do it. And I just find that overall, there are some good ones. Obviously, Lufisto, she's a great one. She doesn't need to have a dungeon match. She's already the Great North Wrestling Canadian champion. But for the low-level girls that act all arrogant, that a dungeon match would be below them, I find that sad because I'm very proud that I was trained in the dungeon. John says nobody sells anything anymore. Well, Drew McDonald sold the Phantom Kick. UGCTV1 says I should train Biden in the basement so he really knows how to take a bump. I don't really feel like training anybody. I'm a reporter, not a wrestling trainer. Jefferson E. White says he finds it shocking that they put Owen over Ken Shamrock. Double S says everyone smash the like button. Thank you, Double S. He also says the cinematic Amber match was awesome. Thank you. I'm going to try and have Amber up here for a follow-up interview soon, and I'm looking forward to having her in Great North Wrestling. If she's not in WWE by then, when we start running shows again, as well as females like Taylor Hendricks, who has the best kicks in the wrestling business. Shane says he found out about this channel when I did the interview with Al Snow. There's actually 3 or 4 interviews with Al Snow up there right now on this channel. I highly suggest people check them out, as well as how-to videos from Al Snow from seminars we've recorded. Hurricane says, great idea about the dungeon match. It'd be awesome. Keep at it, bro. You're a genius. Well, I don't know about a genius, but I don't see why people should be offended if they're asked to do a dungeon match, because you might actually have to wrestle. Maybe that's offensive. You might actually have to know a couple wrestling moves, which a lot of so-called wrestlers don't know these days, particularly in Quebec, which is infamous for having poorly trained wrestlers. Have a great night, everybody. I'm off to the gym. I'm going to be doing legs tonight. Have a good one. Enjoy Hannibal TV, the #1 by far pro wrestling YouTube channel in Canada.